My video for July the 5th, 2019 is video number 3137. The title is This World is Not My Home. As I sat in a state of reverie, simply daydreaming, an old hymn came to me and I observed myself humming it. This world is not my home, I'm just passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blue. The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. I'm not sure why or even how these things seem to pop up spontaneously, but it is a common experience for me. Yes, I used to promote gospel music in my younger years, and these old songs were part of my life. I had just finished listening to the final one of the 8 books by John Panella a short time before. Once again, I was left pondering the meaning of life. Is this world just a grand delusion? Have we all been tricked into a never-ending cycle of death and rebirth? Are we really stuck in a time loop, as he calls it? So many questions. Unfortunately, answers that once satisfied me no longer bring peace. Yet, to be honest, I do not feel upset. I also have a sense that everything will come out better than most of us have ever expected. I don't think the truth of the matter will be the same for everyone. But then again, I am left with the questions. What is truth? And what is home? Yes, unlike my friend Steve, who was still on book 2, which was the one that he suggested I listen to, and he listens over and over. He actually is reading them. I'm not reading them. I go to the MP3 zone on the divinesecretgarden.com website, which is where that's John Panella's website. And I listen to them. And I've listened now to all 8 books in the series. Book 3 was actually the last one that I listened to, although you're supposed to do it in order. I didn't. I listened to book 2, then book 1, and then I think I listened to the Time Loop Chronicles and went back to listen to 4, 5, and then 3. In any case, I'm not sure if that's the exact order I did it in, but in any case, this world isn't my home, and that's what John Panella is saying over and over again, that this 3D world is a trick. It's a delusion or an illusion. I don't like the word illusion. A delusion means it's simply not real. An illusion means it's magic. And my friend Steve gets that because he's a magician. I'm not. And I've seen things and I scratch my head and I think, how did that happen? And as I look at the world around me, I'm left with that same question. How did we get into this predicament? Or as the late Riley used to say, what a revolting development this is. And certainly it is, because obviously those that seem to have risen to place positions of power and prestige and wealth are not benevolent beings. If you haven't noticed, there may be some among them that might put forth a face of benevolence, but John Panella says even that face is a dark face, but it presents the separation of good and evil. When it was created originally, there was no evil. It was just good and it was to be experienced. But the creation was manipulated by another part of creation called fallen angels, or angels that revolted. But he even says, and when they say he, now I'm talking about John Panella, says that even the archangels that we've been taught about are not benevolent beings. They're just playing the polarity role, or more correctly, the polarization role. It's the conflict between good and evil. It's the conflict between the haves and the have-nots. Uh, it's a conflict between those that hold positions of authority and those that supposedly have to serve those in positions of authority. But the whole thing is a scam. That's what John Panella says. And I still don't have the answer as to why a loving God would allow such a scam to take place in the first place. But obviously it has. Here we are. We can say, reach a place of peace and say, well, it's just an illusion, so I don't have to worry about it. But yet we are confronted with things in our individual lives that are extremely challenging. Uh, Whether it's the legal system that has gotten way out of control in the last several decades, uh, or the monetary system where it seems like the rich are getting increasingly wealthier while the poor are struggling more and more just to survive, and the middle class is trying to, somebody seems to be trying to eliminate the middle class altogether, so that all there is a handful of elite at the very top of the pyramid, and everyone else is the servant of those that are at the top of the pyramid. But the people at the top of the pyramid seem to be morally perverted, in case you haven't noticed. Uh, they seem to thrive on abusing little children, even. I mean, the most innocent among us, and they are the abusers of children. And they operate a slavery system. Uh, Call it the corporate world, but corporate world means it's a dead world. And how do they get to interact with human beings? Because they turn us into corporations. They make us dead entities. And so all my life, I've been trying to get out of this conundrum, because obviously to me, something is wrong with the bigger picture. And it's even wrong at the highest echelons of the bigger picture. Why would God allow this? Is there a meaning to it all? Well, I think there is a meaning. If I got to the place where I didn't think there was a meaning anymore, I don't know what I'd do. I mean, I'm not going to. I've not been suicidal. Have I ever thought about it? Sure, I have. I'm sure everybody has when they're going through hard times. But by the same token, I just have always had a hope that kept me from doing anything stupid, like trying to take my own life. I mean, I just simply would not do that, because I still have a little bit of hope that everything is going to be all right. And as I was just sitting in that state of meditation or reverie or whatever, however you want to describe it, uh, as I was sitting there and that song came to me, I was feeling, yes, on the one hand, thoughts of I was deceived when I was in that circle of Christianity earlier in my life. But at the same time, I felt at peace, because this world is not my home. There is something beyond this. And I mean, I sense that something beyond. And I can't give that experience to somebody else. Uh, it's not my job to do that. All I can do is say, there's something more. We need to look at something else than what we've been given. The diet that we've been fed is not a healthy diet. And I'm not just talking about the way our food has been manipulated and all the other problems associated with that. Everything has been manipulated. Everything has been infiltrated and mixed, the light with the dark, the good with the evil. And ultimately, if this is a test, and it seems to be, if this is a test, I want to come out getting the best marks that I can. Uh, I know I don't have all the answers. I admit that. But I do believe that love is the ultimate answer. And that's what I try to do, and why I keep making my videos. Thank you for listening, and namaste.